All right. Welcome to our webinar. Those who are attending, thank you guys for joining early. I am recording this for those who decide they need to jump off early. I get it. Business needs to continue. If you're one of those people, don't fret. We will be recording this, and we will have a rewatch link. So hope you guys are ready. For those who are joining, I see Sabrina, I see Brig, I see Brooke. Hello, thank you guys for joining. Say hello in the chat. If you have any questions, Leslie Radford's on this call, and she is going to be our moderator. So if you have any questions, you can leave them in the chat. We also have a Q&A section in this webinar. If you have any questions at the very end, you'd like us to answer. If I don't have time answering at the very end, I promise you I will email you for those who have any questions at the very end of this call. So awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys once again for joining us. Welcome to Marketing 2.0. This is an extension of Marketing 101. So if you haven't gone to our Marketing 101 webinar, I highly suggest that you go to our YouTube channel. You go to youtube.com and look up Advent Training Marketing Agency and look up for Marketing 101 webinar. You can also go to courses.adventtree.com to rewatch all of our courses and all of our webinars. And in the last webinar, we talked about a lot of the basics of marketing, and I've got a lot of comments saying, hey, I want to learn about a little bit more of the technical side of what is involved in digital marketing and how to go about it. So that being said, let's go ahead, Leslie, and let's kick off this awesome webinar with a lot of content. If you're joining us, go ahead, pull out a notepad, pull out a pen, take lots of notes, because it is going to be a lot of education and a lot of good information. So just to confirm, Leslie, guys can see my screen here?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. All right. Let's get started, everyone. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Marketing 2.0. Welcome, everyone, to Marketing 2.0. Just a little bit about a recap of who we are as a company, Advent Tree Marketing Agency. Our main vision as a company is to change the world and through innovation, inspire businesses to grow. And once again, it's post-COVID, right? And boy, did we have to be innovative and think differently about our companies and businesses and how we do business. And we have been a part of a lot of journeys for business owners, revamping their way they think about their business, the way they operate their business. Even till today, we are helping convert people from just doing business the way they used to adding a little bit more technology and marketing into their business. So we thank all of our clients, and we want to inspire those businesses that aren't clients is to continue growing and to continue thinking different. So, and this is just one of the ways we do it is with our free webinars. So just to recap Marketing 101. In Marketing 101, we talked about the 3 pillars of marketing, and we talked about my definition of marketing, right? Because you have Google's definition, which is about advertising and yada, yada, yada. But my definition of marketing was the science of using creativity, analytics, and consistency to grow your business. And actually, if you think about it, that is the pillar of all marketing, right? Is you've got to be creative. You got to think outside the box. So when you're creating ads, when you're creating content, you've got to think differently to try to get people to engage with that content. And you have the analytical portion, right? You have to dive into the numbers. You've got to know how to read the numbers in order for you to adjust, right? So if you have a lot of users, but they're not engaging, then we got to go back to the content, or vice versa. If you have great engagement, but not enough traffic, we've got to do something to boost that traffic to your company. And number 3, which is consistency, we talked about it, and I'm going to continue alliterating it, is if you aren't consistent, you'll never grow your business. Things just don't happen overnight, okay? here's a prime example. I had a company that it took 2 years, but they went from $10,000 revenue to $70,000 of revenue. Okay, no joke. A month. Just by the way, $10,000 a month to $70,000 a month, and it took time because business takes time. We're going to do the marketing, and all businesses are different. Some take off faster than others, but the key component, no matter how big you grow, no matter how small you are, if you aren't consistent, you'll never grow your company. Okay. So we talked about our process. We call the customer journey process, and it's very simple. We create a pyramid, and instead of creating a funnel, right? The reason why I stay away from funnels is a lot of people teach about funnels, but to the common eye, if I put a funnel up here, people think, oh, great, it's going to be so easy to generate business because I'm building a funnel. I should cast a net, and everybody should just do business with me, right? And it just doesn't work that way. So we created a pyramid because your customers are going to have to climb. It's you as the business owner are going to help your customers climb the pyramid. And if you ever climbed anything, right, it takes work. That's why I created a pyramid instead of a funnel, because it does take work to build these things. So in the very bottom of the pyramid is awareness, right? Do people know you exist? Are they engaging with you? Are they engaging with your content that you're providing? Are they converting into leads or sales, into money, right? Are you, as a business owner in your service, are you getting them excited? Are you working with them? Are you delighting the customer so that they can, in return, do advocation for your business, right? Refer your business. And all good processes, like we talked in Marketing 101, are repeatable. And so if you notice that this is a flywheel, and if you've ever spun the flywheel once, it just continuously spins and spins and spins. So, your customer is going to start with awareness. So they're going to get to know your business. They're going to see, oh, you actually exist. They're going to engage with your business. So the content, the website, anything that you're putting out there, from the website to the Google My Business to the YouTube channel to your Facebook page, it doesn't matter. Are they engaging with your business? And engagement is, are they clicking? If you can get them to click and get them to your website, and you can get them to like or comment or share, that's engagement, and that's the goal of the engagement cycle of the customer flywheel. And then are they converting, right? Because everybody wants that. Everybody wants the conversions. They can't wait to get to the conversions because that's when the business starts to come in. The revenue, the leads. But here's, we talked about this last webinar too, is that most of the time when we convert, we don't really think that our business or the way we do our services or the way we treat our customers isn't a part of marketing, and that's just not true. We call this reputation management for those who are digital marketers on this call, right? If you are providing good customer service, good service, period, what in return is going to happen? They're going to give you some good reviews. They're going to advocate for your business. And people, when people do business, especially online, and if you have bad reviews, you've got to do everything you can to turn that thing around, because that is the number one thing that people look at is reviews when it comes to doing business online. So if you have a Google My Business and you haven't gotten any good Google reviews, I highly suggest you start getting those. So you look at all those phases in a customer journey, and we have to have strategies and implementation in each portion of that customer journey. So in awareness is, are we running ads? Are we running Google ads? Are we running Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads? What kind of ads are we running, right? And because we want to get in front of people. And of course, ads, and we'll talk about in this webinar, is ads aren't just for those who never heard about us, but they are for those who also have seen us, but they still haven't done a buying decision yet. So we'll talk about retargeting ads in this one and how to structure that, and the scary stuff about retargeting ads as well. But if you're not running Google ads or Facebook ads or YouTube ads, Instagram ads, when you have a website and you build your website, you have to start running ads, okay? Yes, we want to invest in SEO. Yes, we want to invest in social media and content, and all of that is very, very long-term investment, right? But obviously, everybody's like, "Hey, I need a return on." You start making money now. Well, the quickest way to do that, only if you have a good person to do this, by the way, because sometimes when you run Google Ads by yourself, it doesn't really work out. But if you are skilled and you run your Google Ads and gotten your certification to Google, you can really start to see some traffic to the website and some calls coming to the business if somebody's doing it properly for your business. And in engagement, we talked about, social media content, videography, photography, graphic design, all of that stuff is important when it comes to engagement. You do want to captivate somebody's attention. And then conversion, right? What do you have on your website or on your social media pages? Do you have any? Do you have a solid website? Do you have forms? Do you have chat bots? Do you have event signups? Is it an e-commerce website? What do you have structured in place to convert those visitors into either leads or into a buying customer? And then do you have an excitement or a delight strategy to provide good service, provide a good product, and have an upsell strategy, right? Because if you don't have an upsell strategy or something that allows you to collect more money on a consistent basis, such as for us, monthly recurring revenue, or an upsell strategy to sell them more things or add-ons, right? You think about McDonald's, right? You think about the would you like us to supersize that, or would you like fries with that? Things like that. All of that is strategies and excitement. And then you have the advocation portion, which once again, Google reviews, ask for referrals, get testimonials, get people to talk about your product or service, get them to sell so that you can do less selling. If you ever gone to our website, adventtrinity.com, what's the one thing that we have on the homepage is 2 testimonial videos, right? And guess what? That's why we have conversions, is because I'm not saying it. My customers are saying how good our services are. So here in Marketing 2.0, so we in the last Marketing 101, we talked about the flywheel, the pyramid, and the basics of Google My Business, search engine optimization, social media marketing. In this webinar, we're going to be talking about a little bit more advanced search engine marketing strategies, social media tactics, how to structure retargeting ads, and the most important thing to me is managing your money, okay? Because as a business owner, you have to manage your money. You can't just spend. You got to have a budget and have a controlled investment in place. So let's talk about SEM strategies. And just so you know what SEM stands for, it stands for search engine marketing. So 2 types of SEM strategies is organic and paid. And so the organic, of course, is you're wanting to pop up above the fold, and paid is if you're going to be paying for pay-per-click. So let's dive into what these 2 different types of strategies are. In organic SEO, like I said from the beginning, organic SEO takes time and consistency. It's a marathon, not a sprint when it comes to search engine optimization. When it comes to PPC, now this is a little bit more immediate way to see an ROI, but it still takes time. Like you're not going to dump an ad out and the next day you're going to see, hey, I'm getting a bunch of calls. Like when it comes to PPC, you are adjusting what we call an artificial intelligence to bid for you, right? And you are bidding against other competitors. So we are going to talk about that technical portion of search engine marketing. So Atma's SEM philosophy. So Atma's search engine marketing philosophy is, number 1, you need both. Okay? You need SEO for the long-term investment, and you need PPC for the immediate investment, right? And the ROI, but both have a role increasing your business revenue. Okay? They both have a role in increasing your business revenue. And I'll tell you why here in a little bit. So the 3 SEO SEM strategies we'll be focused on is three SEO strategies we'll be focusing on is local SEO, website SEO, and content SEO. So we're going to be talking about going back to this is the organic SEO. So we're going to be talking about, and here is what are the three types of organic SEO. So let's talk about local SEO. So local SEO, as you can see, I screenshot this on a Sunday. So everybody's closed on a Sunday. But I Googled marketing agency near me, and there we are, including other agencies, of course, with us. But we're on a Google map. And so the question is, can people find you locally? And that's what local SEO is all about, is the Google My Business out there. And if you were to go ahead into your phone and Google your service, so whether you're doing marketing or plumbing or, I don't know what kind of businesses you guys are in, real estate, anything like that, is your service near me. If you don't pop up in a city that you're located in, what is your action plan to get up in the rankings? So have you opened a Google My Business? And if you haven't, you definitely need to. So, and if you have a Google My Business, have you looked at your keywords on that Google My Business? Because there's a way to adjust your industry and those keywords that are you're promoting on on your Google My Business. And are you getting reviews? Because if you're not getting reviews and people aren't active with your listing, then Google's going to push you down on that listing as far as local SEO. So you have to get some reviews and post on Google My Business. So I think it was Google Plus or something like that. I forgot, man. Google's always changing. But Google used to have its own social media platform. I think it was like Google Plus. I'm like 99% sure that's what it was. But anyways, it's no longer there. So what they did was they started focusing on your Google My Business listings. And now your Google My Business is practically a social media platform. So you have to post on your Google My Business listing in order to tell Google that your listing is active. You're actively posting on your Google My Business. So those who haven't been posting on your Google My Business, now's the time to start. Think of it as just another Facebook where you just continuously post content on your Google My Business listing. And so those are just 4 different action items for you to pop up on as far as local SEO. But here's the deal. If you think Google, hey, Google, there are 150 plus digital services globally. And the question is, can you be found on them? And the only way that you're going to be able to see this is you're going to have to go to our website. We do have a free listing scan. You go to advoctree.com/tools-and-resources, or just click on the resources tab on our website. There's a thing called free listing scan. Do that, and you'll be able to see if you're really truly listed on the internet. And if you're not, where on the internet do you need to be listed on, right? Because you got Google, you got Google My Business, you got Apple, you've got Bing, you got Instagram, you got Alexa. And think of it, now we have artificial intelligence search engines. Like I said, Alexa, you've got Siri and Google, the Hey Google thing. I'm making sure that I'm not turning on my phone when I say that, because sometimes they'll say, "Hey, Brian, what do you need?" But then if you use those artificial intelligence, say, "What's the nearest pizza parlor near me?" And it'll tell you. Well, guess what? That's a listing. So, are you power listed? That's the question. So, factors of buyers when they are buying from a company is: are you easy to be found? Do you have a reputation? What does your reputation look like on the internet? Do we need to focus on getting you some more Google reviews, Yelp reviews, getting your reputation up there, and making sure that people validate you as a credible source? And here's a crazy part. I mean, I run into this a lot. Is the correct information on your listings? Because if it's not, you're losing business. Imagine if they go to your Google My Business or they go to some sort of other platform, they go to Yellow Pages, which, Yellow Pages still exists. It's now internet based, or they go to Waze or any of these little listing platforms, and they have the wrong phone number, they have the wrong website. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to lose the business. If you don't have the correct information on the internet, you lose the business. It happens a lot. So that's why it's important for you to check to see if you're truly listed correctly on the internet. Now, how do you fix the power listings? There are tools out there that you can put in your information once and it gets blasted on the internet. We are one of those tools. So you guys can actually use us as a service. But there's plenty of out there. Just look up power listing softwares. So we talked about local SEO and so this is like the local SEO, but then you have the ads. Okay, so let's say, Brian, I still want to be popping up on the local search, but I want to be number one every single time. Well, guess what? There's things called local search ads on Google. So if you notice, you have the organic listings, and then you have an ad listing. So the benefits of running a search ads, obviously, is you get to pop more on a Google map search and on a listing search. So if people Google something and you notice you have the pay-per-click ads, and then you have the listings where it's near me, and then you have the ad just like this one. You can get calls or clicks or directional call to actions to your business. So if you're a primary business that needs more calls, you need more customers visiting your business. If you have like a storefront and you want people visiting your business, this is the route to go. Okay. And you'll notice that there are a lot, and I mean a lot of strategies when it comes to running ads. The goal is for you to figure out what your budget is and what you're trying to do, which we'll talk about that at the very end of this webinar. So here's something that was recently added not too long ago. When I mean not too long ago, I'm not saying like in the last few months or weeks, but 2 years ago, we just had local ads, but now there's something called local service ads. So this is really, really cool. If you ever see, and if you go Google and you see like Google screened, Google verified, 5 stars, this is a local service ads. And the cool thing about this is, Google is going to screen you. You're going to get a Google guaranteed provider and earn a badge, and your business is based on your industry, which is really, really cool. But this doesn't apply to everyone. And the cool thing about these ads is, unlike your local ads and pay-per-click ads, you're not paying for the click. You're paying for the lead, so you're basically oriented on the results. Okay. But here's the deal. If you're not in one of these industries, you can't run local services ads. And I know it sucks because I really wanted to do it for a marketing agency, but I couldn't. But they primarily focus on service-based businesses, and that's like acupuncture companies, funeral services companies, locksmiths, roofing companies, tax services. You've got landscaping companies, HVAC companies, house cleaning companies. So you have to stay in the realm of these industries in order for you to be able to run these service ads. And these are really, really good for those who are service-based industry. If you are in any of these categories, and because let's just face it, plumbing is extremely competitive pay-per-click company. So is HVAC, so is roofing. These are very competitive. So if you're really trying to target local, so that way you can get the local people to click on your ad and know that you're a Google guaranteed company, this is awesome for you. And this should be an add-on to your pay-per-click, right? You still want to reach people, and this is local, right? So like if you're trying to run, if you're a roofing company and you are located here in Dallas, but obviously you service the entire Texas, then yeah, you're going to want to do local service ads, obviously, but you're also going to want to do pay-per-click to reach more of the broad aspect of Texas. So then we get into the website SEO versus the pay-per-click, okay? So in website SEO, it's all about the website, all right? And here's the two differences between the website SEO and then just the organic SEO. So I'm sorry, the pay-per-click and then the organic SEO. So this image shows you what it means to do a pay-per-click ad, okay? And then what is it to look as if you are an organic popping up above the fold. So when you're doing SEO, technical SEO, organic SEO on your website, here's the deal. And I tell people this all the time. It is 10 times easier to do SEO on a website that a developer's built and is accustomed to so they can manipulate code, because some of the technical SEO does involve coding. It also involves access to the web host, because you need to be able to optimize on a server level how fast your website is. So look at this word. It's called a bounce rate, okay? The bounce rate is how long a person goes to your website and quit and jumps off, right? So let's just say that a visitor comes in and they spend 10 seconds on a website. Well, that negatively affects your website, because it tells Google, does your website, is it really relevant? But if you have a website and they stay on there for 2-3 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, then you have a pretty relevant website, right? So the goal is to get them to stay on the website. And guess what? If somebody doesn't have access to the host and optimizing the speed of the site and doing technical stuff to improve the user experience, that bounce rate is going to be affected, and that's going to affect your SEO. And then here are things that most people know. Most people know because they've started doing a lot of search and they've been educated on search engine optimization, is the alt text on images, right? And so on a website, Google, all it reads is numbers and letters. If you put an image on there, it's not going to know that that's Bill. You have to Bill with this dog Gust, right? And so let's just say I put a picture on my website with Bill and Gust. You have to tell Google this is Bill and Gust, and we're working on a roof. Okay, so I'm a roofing company, and it's my dog, and we're on the roof. Okay, you have to tell Google that through the alt text on images, and same for the videos as well. So then you have the meta title. So the meta title is what you are telling Google to actually say. Like, for instance, Zazzle has cards, and Zazzle, that's the title, and they did the SEO title through the meta title of their website. Then you have the meta description, so you place in the description, and this is what you'll see, right? The description inside the organic SEO, and then the Google Ads. So Google Ads, think of it this way: when you run Google Ads and you're doing the description of the page link and then the description of the page itself, so the title and then the description, it's the same thing you're doing on the back end of the site. But here's the deal. Here's where it comes different is when it comes to website SEO, the back end has to match the front end. Okay, so Leslie here is a content writer, and she's a really good one. And let's just say that Leslie writes about roofing, but the title says about flooring. That's going to conflict because she put a bunch of keywords on the front saying roof, and all we're trying to tell people is this is about flooring. So it doesn't match. It has to sync. And so that's why it's important for you to have a professional content writer, or if you study content writing, copyright on the front page and try to say keywords that make sense in your industry and make sure it matches on the back end. And so how do you do this on WordPress? There's plugins like Yoast and Rank Math, and there's all these different types of softwares, and Wix and Squarespace. Squarespace. They make it very easy. You can go into the back end and start putting your keywords and stuff. But I love Wix and I love Squarespace, but you are limited on how fast your website's going to load and your mobile optimization, because you're not in control of the CSS, which the CSS is how the code structures it to look on mobile, on tablet, on desktop. So if you're not in control of that CSS, which is just a code base to tell people this is what it looks like, then you're going to be very limited on what you're going to do for SEO, which is why we like Wix and Squarespace, but we don't build on Wix and Squarespace. We do build custom coded websites and WordPress websites only. And then you got the pay-per-click, which, is really good at building. If you have to build traffic and clicks to the website. So let's just say you're a brand new business. Okay. If you don't have enough traffic going to your website, you're going to have a very hard time ranking on Google. So what do? You invest to get those clicks. You have to get traffic to the website. Once again, you're going into Google, you're going into Yahoo and Bing and all these other search engines, and you're telling these search engines, I'm the most relevant in my industry. I'm the most relevant in my category. And we talked about the analogy in the last webinar, which was that if you ever thought that Google is like a Barnes and Noble, right? And Barnes and Nobles, they act just like libraries. They get a bunch of books and publishers publish a book and they get them into the store. Well, you just published, your website is a book. And what's the root word of authority? You're building authority. It's author. And I steal that from one of my book publishing people because it's pretty funny. He's like, what's the root word of authority? I stole it from him because it has to do a lot too with building authority on Google. You have to write content in order to start to rank on Google. You have to build users. You have to get clicks and calls. And if you're trying to get lead generation, you're trying to really promote those kinds of things, pay-per-click is the way to go, especially in the beginning, because you're trying to get the users to the website. You're trying to get new traffic to the website so that you can build a repertoire of users that you're going to be able to retarget here later, which is what we're going to talk about in a little bit later in the slides. So then you got content SEO. Okay, so I just talked about this. The root word of authority is author. You need to write content. There is no way around this. You have to write content. You have to write content. You have to write content. I know it's tedious. It sucks, but you have to write content. But Brian, they're not going to read my blogs. You don't know that. 1, 2, once again, you're trying to rank on Google. You're trying to be on number 1. You got to write content. You've got to do keyword research. Once again, do the meta title and description must match the front end of the page. And you're going to write blogs on keywords that you want to start ranking on. Let's just say that, for instance, here's the topic planning. So this is a good one. So topic planning for Advent Trinity. All right. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do pillar pages. So I want to rank under digital marketing. Well, digital marketing is a very big umbrella. It is a very big umbrella. Okay. What does digital marketing cover? Well, if I create the main title is what does digital marketing cover? And I say SEO, SEM, PPC, social media marketing, videography, and content marketing. Well, I just created a blog. What does it take to do digital marketing in 2022? ? You might want to write this down, Leslie. What does it take to do digital marketing in 2022? And I say, here's what you need to do for digital marketing in 2022. You need to have a solid website. You need to have do SEO. You need to do PPC. You need to do social media marketing. And I explain briefly on these categories. But then I can elaborate on these what I call pillar pages, right? And then saying, this is my pillar page, and now I can branch off. I can branch off and start talking about SEO. And I'm going to write a blog about SEO. And then social media marketing. I'll write a blog about social media marketing. And what happens is I create this network, okay, of topics based all around digital marketing. And you can do this with different components of your business, and we might, as a marketing company, sometimes I feel like a business consultant. So I'm really going to start branching out and saying, so what does it take to grow a business? And we talk about CRMs. We talk about, strategies. We talk about technology. We talk about task-oriented project management systems. There's a lot that goes into growing a business, not just marketing. So that could be a pillar page of its own, is what does it take to grow a company in 2022? Well, you're going to need a customer relationship management system. You're going to need a project management system. You're going to need a bookkeeping system. You're going to need integrations with your credit card processing system to keep everything smooth and smooth line. That right there alone is a topic. So if you're a business consultant and you just took this off my webinar, you're welcome. No charge included in that. So that is SEO. So that and that is a very, and trust me, unfortunately I don't have time to go into a full technical description of search engine marketing and PPC, because it is a webinar and I only limited amount of time. But let's get into the next portion of the social media tactics and what's coming in this world of social media, which is crazy. In March 2nd and 3rd, we're going to be learning a lot more about the social media and how it's going to be ever changing. But let's talk about social media. And social media, guess what? Oh my gosh, there's two types of social media tactics. It's organic and paid. Hey, guess what? It's SEO is the same, organic, paid. Let's talk about the organic, which is maintaining the pages, making sure you have good branding, and educating visitors. The misconception of social media marketing every single time is, yes, you want things to go viral, and that's great. Now, asking to go make things go viral, you have no control, right? You can create this awesome content that you think is the best thing in the entire world, and it doesn't go viral. And then you get upset because it didn't go viral. Some things will go viral, some things won't. The most thing that you need to think about as a company is, don't think about going viral. What you want to think about is creating quality content, okay? Think of content that's going to educate buyers. It's going to something that users are going to enjoy, okay? If you go viral, hey, that's great. It may or may not happen, right? But the goal of doing social media is, what is it that you want your page to do? Think of it as just another portion of your website. Your website, what do you want it to do? Well, in our case, I'll be honest with you, as a digital marketing CEO, I want to educate buyers. I just completely want to educate people on what digital marketing and what their expectations need to be, because you have a lot of people online saying, I'm going to make you a millionaire. This is what you got to do. Create yourself a Shopify business and you're going to be a billionaire within the next 3 months. And I'm not that marketing agency. And if you're on this call and you're thinking that's me, it ain't me. You can go see if that works for you. I probably highly doubt it will, but you can go ahead and try it. My goal for the pages is, what are we doing for your users? Okay. Are we educating them? Do they know the process? Like, do they know what to expect if they're going to do business with you? Do they know the steps? First, as Advent Trinity, it's an introductory call. I got to see if we're going to be a good fit, because if we're not going to be a good fit, I don't want to do business with you, and I got to set those expectations. And then we have, okay, I'll send you a proposal. We'll do an exploratory call to look at your options. I'm always going to give you options about what you can and cannot do, right? Or what I think you should do. But you have these options if you're wanting to start slow or be extremely aggressive. And then we'll have a kickoff meeting. So we'll kick off. You'll meet the staff, you meet the team, and we set up a timeline so that you understand and know that this is what we're following, and give or take, different things of when your website's going to launch, when your social media is going to start posting, when you start seeing things on Google, things like that. So just giving out the full process. Well, that's on my website, but is that on my social media? Right? And if it's not, how do we get it there? So we're educating visitors and buyers of, hey, this is how we do business. These are our people. And then educating people on your staff. People like to see real people behind a business. They don't want to see a robot. And sometimes they'll go to your social media just to make sure that you're a real business. Okay. So paid social media. This is awesome. Okay. When it comes to social media ads, targeting buyers is awesome because there's so many things you can do. You can do target marketing, which we'll get into a little bit. You can actually increase and building a following, reaching more targeted audience faster, and then setting up a call to action to get people to call you and fill out forms. There's multiple ways for you to get people to click and get to your website, get to know you. And then later down the road, we can start retargeting and start doing some conversion optimization, right? So here's the deal, though. When it comes to social media advertising, I got good news and I got bad news, all right? So the good news is when it comes to Facebook and Instagram primarily, is Facebook is really good at targeting, man. I can target if you've been engaged. I can target if you've been married, if you just became single. It's kind of crazy and weird at the same time. But I also can target job titles. I can target industries. I can target pages that you might be interested in. I can target interest behaviors. I can target location. I can target zip codes. I can target a lot of things. I can get very specific on who I'm trying to target and like life-changing events, such as getting married or being engaged. And like, let's say that I'm selling wedding dresses. I can target people that just became engaged and just dump ads in front of just those who've been engaged. Kind of crazy. And then but here's the bad news is if you are in the credit, the employment, the housing, you do social issues, elections, or politics, if you're in any of these categories, unfortunately, you have to abide by what they call a special ad category. Now, what is a special ad category is you can't really target market. You have to be, you have to pretty much do a broad advertising campaign in order for, I guess, Facebook not to be discriminatory of anything like that. So if you're in real estate, you have to do the special ad campaign. If you are a staffing agency, and you're doing employment, or even if you're hiring, I ran into this too. For any of your companies, you have to do an employment special ad campaign. Elections or politics, honestly, at this point, you might as well not run it because Facebook and Instagram got in trouble from the last election. So I don't even know if you can run election campaigns anymore. If you do like credit repair or sell credit cards, you have to do special campaign as well. So if you're in any of those industries, you need to know that they do have kind of a roadblock, I would say, but you still have to do Facebook ads. I would not run Facebook and Instagram ads. You still have to do brand awareness ads. So when you're doing social media for your business, you really have to dive into what platform you're going to want to be on. Okay. So everybody knows. And if you Google this, you can say, hey, what kind of demographics are on social media platforms? Let's just face it. You on this call probably already noticed Facebook is an older generation. Instagram is kind of a millennial generation. Then you've got TikTok, which is a younger generation. Yes, I'm not saying that I'm not on it and your parents aren't on TikTok. TikTok, almost everybody's on it now. But what I'm saying is the majority of it for Facebook is older, around 30 and up. Instagram, millennials, you're in the 20 to 30s, and then your TikTok is you have your teens all the way up to the millennials, like I would say 25 to 30, right? Then you got your LinkedIn, which is your business to B2B, which is great. YouTube, which is a search engine, another search engine for videos, but that's a great way to promote your business as well. And then you got Twitter, which is Twitter is more of a kind of like information based. What I mean by that is you have updates, consistent updates on your Twitter account. So for instance, a lot of IT companies or web hosting companies use Twitter to give updates. Hey, the server's down, XYZ. We're performing maintenance on our software. Be prepared for that. So people keep up to date on their Twitter accounts. And then Pinterest is just, different types of, I trust me, I use Pinterest to kind of do my own man cave thing. So it's just getting ideas of how other people are doing things, or housing or clothing and things like that. So you as the business owner, and if we're in our last webinar, we talked about personas. You have to know who you're really trying to target and invest more time in that, in these platforms, and know what platforms you want to use in order for you to grow your following. So how to structure retargeting ads. So I can't believe I'm already running out of time here. So I'm going to get into the technical stuff. So everybody's asking, how do I structure my retargeting ads? Well, here's the secret sauce. Setting up retargeting ads requires either code or integration. Okay, so if you kind of be a little bit actually got to be really technical savvy when it comes to setting up your retargeting ads. Okay, so the way you set up retargeting ads on Facebook, which I put Facebook pixel, but really it's now called a meta pixel. Okay, so the way you do it on a meta pixel is you have to set up your business suite on Facebook. And then you go to Events Manager, and then you click on the plus sign and then connect the data source and select Web. Select Metapixel and click on Connect. Add the pixel name, which you just put your business name at that point. Enter the website URL and click on Continue. Now, I'm going to tell you the technical side because I'll be honest with you, some of the integrations don't work. I've run into multiple situations where I've tried to integrate with websites, and we as an agency prefer code because we have developers on our side, thank the Lord, and they know what they're doing. So they just go into the PHP code and plug that code into the website. So, but there are integrational ways to do it. But if you're coding, that's how you put it into the header, the head of the script, and then voila. Now anybody who goes to your website, they're tracking codes. Okay, so if you've ever gone to a website and then you're like, especially e-commerce websites, these are like huge on e-commerce websites. You go to an e-commerce website, and the next thing you know, you go on Facebook or Instagram, and that's all you see is the lawnmower you were trying to buy, right? If you went to a website and you're like, okay, I need a lawnmower, and the next thing you know, all I see for the next week, 2 weeks, unless you clear cache, 3 weeks is a lawnmower, and from the same business. That's how they do it. They put this code into their website for them, and then when we went to targeting on Facebook ads, what they did was in the target market, they clicked on website traffic. The website clicks. That's all they did is website traffic. I want this specific ad to track, to pop up on those who have visited my website. And it gets even scarier. You can do it by product. You can do it by page. You can do all kinds of stuff because the events manager, you just go in one by one. If they click on this button, I want to pop this ad up. If they click on this button, I want to pop this ad up. That's how Facebook and Instagram does it. And with Snapchat and Pinterest, it's a very similar process. Once again, it takes code and integration. And then you've got the G tag manager. Okay, so what is a G tag? It's a Google tag manager. Same concept. So if you are on a certain blogs or certain partners, and next thing you know, a YouTube video pops up, and you just visit that site, and you're seeing the graphics and the YouTube videos and all this other stuff on Google platforms and blogs, like different competitor blogs or website blogs that allow Google advertising on them, and all you see is that business's advertisement, it's because, once again, they put in this code, or we put in this code into the website, so we're able to do this. So, step 2, retarget is number 1. The number 1 thing you got to do, you've got to drive users to the website. So you put in the tracking codes, right? And you have to drive. And the reason why I put number 1 is because if you put in these codes and you're not driving traffic to the website, none of this matters, because that's what it is. It's tracking codes. And Google specifically requires you to have a certain amount of people tagged before you can start retargeting. So you're going to want to try to drive as much traffic as you can to that website and get people to be tagged by the pixel and the G tag, so that way you build this bucket of tracked users, right? Number 2 is you build that bucket of tracked users, and then you go back and program these ads to retarget those who have specifically visited your site. So that's how you run retargeting ads, okay? So why reprogram retargeting ads? Because it's simple. It takes approximately 7 touches for someone to truly engage with your business. Some of you are on networking. You guys network with me. You don't go to a networking group and the next day you have business. It just, sometimes it happens, but not very often. Sometimes it takes time. You have to continuously go, and people have to continuously know, like, and trust you. Well, if they go to your website and they don't ever see you again, I'm guaranteed they're not going to do business with you. So you have to start retargeting ads, because you're not going to get everybody on the first click. Okay. So then let's talk about managing your advertised budget. Guys, I say this in like almost every webinar and every single class that I do. Manage your money, okay? And we as an agency, we have this Excel sheet, and I am going to put it on the website to be downloadable. But if you look, we have a paid advertising budget sheet, an Excel sheet, and it tracks every little thing from on a monthly basis, and how much was spent on every single month, how much was left over. If we have any left over, could we push it over to the next quarter? When we do advertising, we budget on a quarterly basis. But are you doing this for your company? Do you know how much money you spent on Facebook? Do you track how much money you spent on Google? Do you track how much money? Because some people are like, well, I'm going to boost Facebook and I'm going to trust this third-party social media platform to, I only want to spend $10, and the next thing you know, you spent $10,000, right? And that's just, you have to stay on top of it, or have somebody like us who will stay on top of it for you. So that's all I got for today. We have, if you're ready to start, we're ready to help. Okay. You can contact us by going to adventtrinity.com. Give us a call at 682-270-8035. We'll give you a free consultation. And we hope this was great information. If you need help, we'll be more than happy. But if you have a marketer out there and you want to go over some of the topics that we've talked about in this webinar, feel free to do that as well. Guys, this webinar isn't just, it is a lead generation tool for us, but it also is, once again, we're sticking to our vision. We're changing the world through innovation, inspiring businesses to grow. So if you have your own marketing company and you want to talk about setting up retargeting ads, I would highly suggest, and now you're a little bit more informed of how it works, go back to your marketing team and tell them, this is what I want to do. Or if you need help and you're just like, this clarifies a lot more, I've never thought of it this way, I'd like to sit down with Brian, and you and your team, and figure out what we can do to uplift my campaigns and my marketing strategies. We're here to help. So once again, thank you guys for joining us. I really appreciate everybody on this call, and we will see you next time.